right now we are scaling the business so unbelievably fast. At the same time, it's the most upset of the lack of scale I've ever been and the incredible amount of growth opportunity that I see. That it's this incredibly unique feeling where they always say more money does not equal more happiness. And in fact, you get to a point where you start to make more money where it's an inverse happiness. And I'm definitely at that point. And I would say for every single person out there, unequivocally, you do not need to make more than $30,000 per month to do anything you want. You can travel at any point in the time. You can do anything. Like, besides flying private, you can do anything. But I don't just want to make a lot of money. I want to win the game. Like someone falls in love with sports and wants to be the best. Someone like Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan and a lot of these greats. And I've always been inspired by the greats of every single niche. It doesn't matter what it is, someone pursuing and achieving excellence in something, the human innovation that comes from it, the hyper obsession with growth in and of itself. And that's how I feel about business. And even though we're leveling up, and from the outside, it seems like we are crushing it. And genuinely, we are crushing it. But I don't feel like we are crushing it. Objectively, we are. But all I see are the 10 moves that we could make to, instead of making a lot of money, like have a business that is, like, I think if we made 5 key moves, we could go from $100,000 per month to $5 million per month. And that catastrophic jump is what keeps my brain thinking all day. Like, hey, like, we need to narrow our focus and be hyper specific about what we are doing and have such a clear goal and just go out and achieve it. And the money is made in the simplicity. If you see these people, like there's honestly, most of these people online that are making a few $100,000 per month, they are doing way too much stuff. Like, you talk about this entire value stack of offers. Hey, you're gonna start an info product, then you're gonna have a high-end coaching product, then you're gonna have a high-end mastermind, and then you're gonna have something else. You're gonna have this full value ladder. I think that is utter nonsense for if you're trying to run a real business. If you want a personal brand that turns into your business, that makes you a few $1 million per year, that is fine. You'll run that at 80% margins. But if you want to grow something to millions and millions of dollars per month, solve one problem for one type of person that has a big market cap of people that need that issue done for, and just solve that. And try your hardest not to get distracted by the 100 other opportunities that are going to come up around it. If I didn't fuck that up, we would be making double the amount of money and having 50% less headache than we currently have. 6 months ago, I made the decision to offer more things that was outside of our core service base to new clients because I thought that was a value add. When the clients didn't give a fuck about that, they wanted the one thing that we promised them, the core offer. They didn't care about the other offers, but the other offers are causing 40% of our headache, eating up a lot of the margin, and driving us crazy. So we are going to cut all of that out, solve one problem, hyper specifically, and don't do anything else until we get to $1 million a month. I am not going to allow myself to have anything else that we offer than the current things that we're doing. We are going to be guaranteeing 10 million views for businesses. We are going to be guaranteeing 1,000 qualified leads into their funnel, unless it's like a massive B2B business where they're only working with enterprise customers. There's obviously going to be some stipulations. And that is it. We do have some small value add-ons there. One of them is the in-house sponsorship company that I have. That is a great play that is very hands-off, that is very easy to do, where we have great splits for. And when we generate tons of views for clients, we are then going to plug in sponsors for them. That's fine. That's a hands-off business that is only possible because we have clients that we generate tons of views for. The second thing is running paid ads for these businesses once we get them to where we're already doing substantial amounts of revenue. Those are the only things. We're cutting off all the other things that we were doing. And we were doing LinkedIn and X, and we were doing outreach on both of those platforms. We were doing DM setting. We were doing all these things as a value add because we wanted to get more sales for them. But it ended up just causing too much of a fucking headache. Just get them views, convert those views into customers. So have a very simple funnel. And we have a lot of funnel templates that we use depending on the product, depending on the niche, that we can plug in that we know will work. And then all we need is traffic to jam through it and adjust the data and set the KPIs and run this like a fucking business. And literally, if we just do that, and we continuously do that, and then have a way to acquire customers, we could run this offer to $50 million per month with almost no friction. The things that are going to break are operational issues, sales issues. From an acquisition standpoint, it's going to be too expensive to get customers and to maintain customers. And so that means you need to continuously perfect the craft. We need to continuously make better, we need to get better at acquiring customers. We need to have better incentives for our current customers to get us new customers by having them refer. And once we show certain results, have different ways to ascend the customer. You don't need to do more. Doing more just hurts you. And when you understand the expensiveness of your focus, let's just zoom out and say you had a business that was doing $1 million per month providing plumbing services. How many more plumbing services could you provide? Well, it would probably be, if you got another 50 people, you could broaden the range of your plumbing services from one micro city to bringing it broader and broader and broader. And you could probably run that up to $10 million a month from your plumbing services. Is the right thing to do more of what you're currently doing, to expand the team, to broaden the radius of your ads, to do better however you're acquiring customers, offer better referral incentives? Or is it better to say, okay, now that we're doing plumbing, let's also do the electrician. Let's do the electrical outing for all of these businesses as well? Probably not, because that is not your specialty. That is not your edge. That is not what you're known for. That is not what you're good at. And this is what always makes it so hard, is focus and clarity and understanding what to focus on. And the reason why I'm so passionate and upset is because this is stuff that I fuck up so much. The more we scale, the more opportunities, because clients will come to you and say, hey, I have this other problem. I want to pay you to fix it. And you know how hard it is to say, I'm sorry, client that is trying to hand me money. I don't want your money. You're asking to give me money because I've done such a great job with the thing that I said that I could do. There's something that's pretty close to it. Why don't I just figure out how to do that for you, client? Because I can do it for you. It's better that I do it than someone else, right? Maybe, but that is where I've caused all my issues, by doing things outside my wheelhouse instead of just solving specific problems and being the entirety best in the world at that one thing. And do you want to know how it would be unequivocal proof that you've hit the point of no return, where you should start to broaden out? If you continuously provide your clients with exceptional service and they're not churning, and it's feasibly impossible to get more clients, then maybe it's time to sell your current client list another product or service, and if growth remains stagnant for 3+ months. But what you're probably going to see is that when you're boring and when you cut off distractions and you really look at the data and see what is breaking, let me fix that thing that is breaking, you are going to unlock another level of growth. And so if you have a hard time getting customers, is it your ad spend? Is it the content that you're making? Is it what is it? How do you attract those clients? How can you just dump as much into that as possible and then figure out what breaks in that process? Because acquiring a customer, it's when someone opts in on a landing page, what percentage of those people click on the landing page and leave? How can you improve the copy on that? How can you improve the show up rate for your sales team? If you have a sales team, what KPIs does your sales team have to know if they're doing well or they're not? And the difference between closing at a 60% rate and a 40% rate, if you're driving through 100 customers and your average customer spends $25,000 with you, and one sales member gets a 60% closing rate, another gets 40% closing rate, you are losing out on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. And so just knowing your numbers and knowing what excellence looks like and training that excellence at scale, it is so hard. The reason why people don't do it is because it is very challenging to do the simple things at the highest level. But doing the simplest thing at the highest level is where you get the greatest outsized returns. It's never the person that does every single thing very mid. That person never gets the outsized returns, and they never will. So that's what we're going to do, is perfect the basics and just get so good at it that it looks like the best golf swing ever. And someone that just, like, one of the first person I started working for, George Gammon, the way I started with him is I got his logo tattooed on my leg, and I flew across the country to go meet him, to ask to work for him, to ask to apprentice myself under him. Now he's one of my best friends in the entire world, and sincerely been one of the greatest mentors. He was a semi-pro golfer when he was in college, and that's how he got himself through college. My first time golfing, I was with him in Medellin, Colombia, at this golf course that he's a member of, and we just go to the practice range, and he's teaching me how to go, and he just starts hitting balls. And then what you see is he hits about 15 balls with the same club, and every single ball goes in a 10-foot radius of each other. They all, like, every single swing looks the exact same, and he's hypercritical of his swing that it looks the same every single time. And every single ball is in a 10-foot radius. So if you hit a ball 15 times, they are all going within 10 feet of each other. And if he hit it 150 times, all of those balls would be in that 10-foot radius. And he would continuously do this over and over and over again. And in a lot of ways, it looks like perfection. But how do you get to that? It is by being incredibly strict with your form, 100,000 times of swinging, and making sure that you are always doing the basics right every single time. And that is the hardest thing to do, because you have someone, I have a friend that I remember going to the driving range with when we were in like 8th grade, and he's just one of those freak natural athletes who he's an incredible basketball player, incredible football player, incredible baseball player. He's just a freak athlete. And his first time, ever time picking up a club and swinging a golf ball, he just fucking rockets it because he's a freak athlete. I am not a freak athlete. And I would need to swing the club 100,000 times before I started to get a really good motion, and I started to perfect the craft. And then it would take me another 1,000,000 times before it would look anything close to hitting every single ball in the same 10-foot radius every single time. That's the same thing with business. And if we want to scale to where we are doing hundreds of millions of dollars per year, the first thing that we need to do is perfect the basics of this one thing. And this one thing is what is going to take us to $5 million per month within the next 3 years. I would make a substantial bet that that is what's going to happen, because we already have so much momentum. We already have the receipts with some of the top clients in the entire world. We have things that no one else in the entire world could replicate. We are in a position where we could just take exponential growth, but the only way this happens is if we stay hyper-focused, hyper-critical, and perfect the basics. And so because of that, there's this overwhelming gleaming opportunity that is literally smacking me over and over and over again every single day in the face. It is an immense amount of pressure. And so even though we are making revenue, it just seems so pathetic, because I know what great looks like, and we are not great. We are fucking pathetic. We are like so bad. It's actually amazing how much money you can make with being bad at business. And that excites me, because what will good and eventually great look like? And so we are going to absolutely crush it. It's not an if, it's a when. And that's what I love making these videos for, because I get to document every single piece of the journey. My girlfriend just got here. We're gonna go on a date, and I can assure you, she is not gonna want to talk about this. So, this is honestly what I fell asleep dreaming to the past like few weeks. This is what I think about during the day. This is what I sleep about. This is what I wake up thinking about. Usually what I dream about at nighttime. Perfecting these basic things. And once we do, I don't know. There's just so much to be done. So we'll see what happens.